This next story is really disgusting and terrible, and I have to tell you that if you are a woman or a man or anyone who has been sexually harassed or sexually assaulted, trigger warning, because that's what we're going to be talking about now. And this story relates to Michael Bloomberg, who you may have seen is rising steadily in the polls. He's pouring a lot, and I mean a lot, of his own money into this race. And his pockets know no limits. He can keep on going. And personally, I am extremely scared of him getting to the White House. He's a bad dude. There's no other way to say it. He's not a good guy. He's not an ally of the Democrats. The fact that Democrats are including some famous people, I think someone said, I think Michael Douglas said on Kirk Douglas's deathbed, he was saying, oh, Michael Bloomberg will make a great president. And that's what he put out into the universe. No, Michael Bloomberg will not make a great president. So all of these Democrats who are propping him up as some kind of alternative to Donald Trump are just crazy. And this is just one of the reasons why. So this starts off with Laura Bassett, who did a great piece. And she, promoted her piece by tweeting, "There have been 40 sexual harassment and discrimination lawsuits brought against Michael Bloomberg by 64 women. Why is his long history of egregious sexism getting a pass?" My latest for GQ magazine. So Laura Bassett, of course, writes for a variety of places. This happens to be in GQ. And I want to say that while there are no allegations of direct sexual assault, I think we have to use stronger language than egregious sexism. I think sexual harassment is definitely fair to use in this case. And yeah, I think Michael Bloomberg is a sexual harasser. I don't think there's any way around it. And it's disgusting and it's awful. And again, I'll give you a warning. This stuff's going to be bad. I'm going to be reading stuff from these articles that I'm going through that I can't even say on this channel or we'll get demonetized. So, yeah, buckle up. This is bad. Real bad. Okay, so here's a video to show you a little bit about this story, about what Michael Bloomberg does. And again, they use the term sexism. I think it goes into sexual harassment for sure. Let's listen.
Light this morning on Michael Bloomberg and new details on allegations of sexism. The billionaire accused of making crude remarks toward women at his company, and his company the target of 3 ongoing lawsuits by former female employees. Our chief national correspondent Tom Yamas has more on all of this. Good morning, Tom.
Cecilia, good morning to you. This is a booklet that we believe has never been seen on TV and one that no presidential candidate would want out there. It's an original copy of the portable Bloomberg, The Wit and Wisdom of Michael Bloomberg, a collection of his quotes assembled by one of his top staffers in the early 1990s as a birthday gift. Bloomberg says he doesn't remember making the comments, but the quotes we found inside echo claims in lawsuits accusing Michael Bloomberg of sexist remarks and fostering a company culture that degraded women then and now. In the 1990s, as Michael Bloomberg's company was taking off, one of his regional sales managers, Sakiko Sakai's career at Bloomberg was about to end. The tipping point came, she says, when Sakai told her boss, Michael Bloomberg, she was pregnant.
She thought he would be pleased that she was pregnant. She said that to him, and he said to her, "Kill it."
In her lawsuit, Sakai, who resigned soon after her child was born, alleges that she understood the statement of Michael Bloomberg to mean that I should have an abortion to keep my job. When the remark first surfaced in the late 1990s, Bloomberg strongly denied saying it. But there are allegations of other disturbing remarks. In an interview with the New York State Division of Human Rights, Sakai alleges Bloomberg told her, "If you look like that, I would do you in a second," gesturing to another woman. Another time saying, "Your expletive looks huge in that new dress." That case also includes an allegation that Bloomberg told a group of female employees he wanted to perform a sex act on actress Sharon Stone.
If Mr. Bloomberg is running for president, I think the public needs to know what actually happened in his business.
One of Sakai's lawyers told us she can't discuss this period. Her case settled and she signed a confidentiality agreement. Bonnie Josephs first represented Sakai when she sued Michael Bloomberg and his company. Joseph says she interviewed a dozen employees at the time who described a sexist atmosphere full of raunchy behavior.
Wow. And this is not even all of it. It's nowhere near all of it. That anyone could consider voting for this guy, that this guy is considered a top contender for the Democratic nomination, is insane. This guy could become president, and it's because the establishment won't call him out, that they're even entertaining this. People don't know about this. This stuff has been out there for many, many years, but now it's starting to leak out, with this Laura Bassett article. But this came up in his other races. It didn't harm him in any way because he's a billionaire. Because nothing seems to harm these billionaires. That's why Donald Trump is president. Let's go into Laura's article and continue to have our blood pressure rise like crazy. And I laugh, but it's no laughing matter. I mean, if you don't laugh, you'll cry. And honestly, this stuff is so bad, it does make me feel like crying. So this is Laura's article. Why is Bloomberg's long history of egregious sexism getting a pass? I would, again, use much stronger language than sexism. So the subhead here, the surging Democratic presidential candidate and Bloomberg LP have fielded nearly 40 sexual harassment and discrimination lawsuits over decades. Let's see. In December 2015, employees at Everytown for Gun Safety, the gun control organization funded by Mike Bloomberg, arrived at work to find a holiday gift on their desks from their employer, the former mayor's 1997 biography, Bloomberg by Bloomberg. Flipping through the book, staffers found themselves uncomfortably reading their billionaire founder's boasts about keeping a girlfriend in every city and other womanizing exploits as a Wall Street up-and-comer. A few people started immediately going through it and sending the cringiest parts around on email chains, one former Everytown employee told me. Hardly the most controversial things he said, but it's still a bad look. Indeed, Bloomberg's casual boasts about his sex life and his own autobiography are now some of the least problematic parts of his candidacy for president. In recent days, the former New York City mayor's track record on race is undergoing renewed scrutiny. So I'm not going to read all of this, but stop and frisk and redlining, I'm going to do a different segment on this. So this is specifically about his sexual harassment. So, blah, 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 especially for a politician with presidential ambitions who has been vigorously denying allegations of misogyny throughout his entire career, including nearly 40 sex discriminations and sexual harassment lawsuits brought against him and his organizations by 64 women over the past several decades. Bloomberg's sexism, like that of fellow New York City billionaire Donald Trump, has been prolific and well documented. But for some reason, the stories about him don't seem to have taken hold. I wonder why that is. Why haven't these stories taken hold? Could it be that he's a billionaire? Could it be that he is so deep in the establishment that he basically runs it? Yeah, I think that might have something to do with it. Oh, this is just so frustrating. He is still being embraced by the Democratic establishment as a viable option for its presidential nominee. He surged to third place in several 2020 polls this week. The Democratic National Committee changed its rules to allow him to participate in the next primary debate. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi said his presence in the primary is a positive one, and this is something that I cannot highlight enough. He is in third place in some national polls for the presidency, for the Democratic nomination. Can you imagine? And that's all the media wants, is a food fight between Donald Trump and Michael Bloomberg. Can you imagine what that would do for their ratings? And that's all they care about, ratings and money. The DNC changed its rules so that Michael Bloomberg could in the future participate. They didn't do that for Black candidates. They didn't do that for Cory Booker. They didn't do that for Julian Castro. They did that for billionaire white man Michael Bloomberg. There's nothing wrong with white men. I'm just saying. They did it because of the money. And by nothing wrong with white men, that's maybe not the correct way to phrase that. I just mean the rules are the rules. The fact that they wouldn't do that for Black candidate Cory Booker, that they wouldn't do that for Julian Castro, is absurd. And that they would do it for a white billionaire speaks volumes about who the Democratic Party actually is. And of course, Nancy Pelosi, resistance hero, that she said his presence in the primary is a positive one. Are you kidding me? What kind of resistance are you running, Nancy? Certainly not a real one. That's for sure. I just can't. This video, this video is going to make me just absurdly upset. All this despite what's already been reported and alleged for decades about Bloomberg's behavior. As a recap, here are some examples. Sakiko Sakai Garrison, a former sales representative at Bloomberg LP, alleged in a 1997 lawsuit, one of 4 separate lawsuits in a 2-year period, that then CEO Mike Bloomberg found out she was pregnant. That when then CEO Mike Bloomberg found out she was pregnant, he told her, kill it, and great, number 16, an apparent reference to the number of pregnant women or women on maternity leave at his company. She also alleged that when Bloomberg saw her engagement ring, he commented, what, is that guy dumb and blind? What the hell is he marrying you for? And that when he once pointed to another female employee, he told Garrison, if you looked like that, I'd do you in a second. Bloomberg denied having said most of these things, but reportedly left Garrison a voicemail saying that if he did say them, he didn't mean it. Of course. Bloomberg once described his life as a single billionaire bachelor in New York City to a reporter as being a wet dream. I like theater, dining, and chasing women, he said. On a radio show in 2003, he said that he would really want to have Jennifer Lopez, which he later explained away as wanting to have dinner with her. A top aide said Bloomberg frequently remarked nice tits upon seeing attractive women. Employees of his in 1990 put together an entire booklet of some of his more egregious comments, including, if women wanted to be appreciated for their brains, they'd go to the library instead of to Bloomingdale's, and of the computer terminal that made him a billionaire. It will do everything, including give you oral sex. I guess that puts a lot of you girls out of business. Wow. More recently, Bloomberg defended his longtime close pal Charlie Rose, who was fired from CBS and PBS in 2017 after multiple women alleged that he made unwanted sexual advances on his female colleagues and subordinates. The stuff I read about is disgraceful. I don't know how true all of it is, Bloomberg told the New York Times. I never saw anything, and we have no record. We've checked very carefully. Bloomberg cast doubt on the Me Too movement. I'm not going to read all of this, but I'll link to it, as I do, in the description. Bloomberg's campaign, in reckoning with his long history of toxic frat boy behavior, is essentially asking voters to try and focus on his political values instead. But when it comes to that, his political values, he has supported so many Republicans and so many Republican, goals, that what are his values? His values are whatever makes him the most money, whatever gives him the most power. That's not someone we want to have as president. So again, I'll link to that. Let's get more into this. Bloomberg accused of running media empire with toxic work culture. This is from November 27th, 2019 in the New York Post. Michael Bloomberg has been repeatedly accused of presiding over a toxic, predatory environment in dozens of lawsuits filed by female staff over the past 2 decades, a new report reveals. Again, Bloomberg LP has been hit with nearly 40 discrimination and harassment lawsuits from 64 employees that have regained currency since Bloomberg announced his run for the Democratic presidential nomination. A common theme in many of the suits was the allegation that Bloomberg, who is worth about $54 billion, created a reckless playground for male executives to target young, female, naive employees for sex. The billionaire founder and former New York City mayor was also accused of leering at female employees and making sexist comments, according to the report. So we've read some of this already. If you look like that, I would do you in a second. Another one, I would like nothing more in life than to have Sharon Stone sit on my face. Of course, Bloomberg LP gave some not very good, statements. Bloomberg strongly supports a culture that treats all employees with dignity, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, we don't believe that. As of Wednesday, so as of November 2019, 5 lawsuits against the presidential candidate and his company were ongoing. So here we go. So this is why I object so strongly to calling this just sexism. In a suit filed as recently as 2016, a female Bloomberg employee, identified only as Margaret Doe, accused her male boss of raping her twice, plying her with drugs, and threatening to terminate her employment if she didn't continue sleeping with him. I'll read that again. A female Bloomberg employee, identified only as Margaret Doe, accused her male boss of raping her twice, plying her with drugs, and threatening to terminate her employment if she didn't continue sleeping with him. Doe said the company had a rampant drug culture and accused Nick Ferris, a former Bloomberg sales manager, of getting her addicted to powerful narcotics after she started working at the company in September 2012. So Bloomberg, Bloomberg LP, said they terminated Mr. Ferris, the guy in question here. And they're saying that they discovered inappropriate conduct through their compliance tools. So why is this such a rampant culture? Why are male bosses at Bloomberg LP able to do this and mostly get away with it, it seems? So far, I haven't found any evidence of Bloomberg himself raping anyone. I have found lots of evidence of him sexually harassing people. And yes, being sexist. It doesn't, from what I've seen, rise to sexual assault. By him directly. But there's accusations of rape rampant at his company. There's sexual harassment rampant at his company. Why isn't he taking care of this? We talk about Donald Trump and all of the accusations against him and how Democrats are all up in arms about that. How Me Too was supposed to give people the power, supposed to give women the power and other sexually abused and assaulted people the power to stand up against this and to have real consequences for people who perpetuate this and who do this, who sexually harass, sexually assault. But what kind of consequences are there when someone like Michael Bloomberg, who is at the helm of this company that has such rampant abuse and sexual harassment and sexual assault, why is he third in the polls? I could say, what is wrong with people? Why are they voting for someone like this? But it's because of the media. It's because the media is manufacturing consent. It's because they're not getting this information out there. This has been out there for years. This has been out there since the early aughts. Here we are in 2020, and people are saying, yeah, I'm going to vote for Michael Bloomberg. I think he's great against Donald Trump. We have celebrities saying, yeah, I'm going to vote for Michael Bloomberg. He's great. He's getting endorsements left and right. He's, again, third in the national polls. He shouldn't be. He really shouldn't be. There's more. This is from 2007. Sex suit could be a problem for Bloomberg. So, new details from a sexual harassment lawsuit he settled in 2000 and other racy comments over the years show his blunt style could prove a liability if he runs for president as an independent. So again, this is an outdated article, not in its facts or its reporting, but in that it's talking about Michael Bloomberg as mayor and as his potential plans to run. Before his election as mayor in 2001, Bloomberg was the target of a sexual harassment suit by a female executive who accused him of making repeated raunchy sexual comments while he was chief executive of his financial company, Bloomberg LP. Bloomberg asked the woman who sued if she was giving her boyfriend good oral sex. He said, "I'd like to do that. That's a great piece of ass," to describe the woman in the office. And again, as I've already said, when he found out the woman was pregnant, he told her to kill it and said, "Great, number 16, on and on." Bloomberg denied the accusations. So he also has said other things. "I'd F that in a second. I'd like to do that. That's a great piece of ass." He's racist, of course, which I'll get into in another report, referring to Mexican clients as jumping beans. Saying of another female colleague who was having trouble finding a nanny that all you need is some black who doesn't even have to speak English to rescue it from a burning building. This guy is a racist. He's a sexist. He's a sexual harasser. Just absolutely disgusting stuff. Absolutely disgusting stuff. And there's article after article like this. And I pulled up this one as well. There are many more that I could pull up just to show you that this information is out there. So why isn't CNN harping on this all day and night? Why aren't they saying Michael Bloomberg has been accused of sexism, of sexual harassment? He's done really egregious, terrible things. Why are they instead dedicating entire segments to how mean Bernie Sanders supporters are? They seem to have no trouble finding spots for that. So why can't they find spots about Michael Bloomberg and his history and the way he treats women and how he's no benefit to the cause of the resistance, if you want to call it that, the fake resistance, the Nancy Pelosi style resistance. He's not a benefit to them, and he's certainly not a benefit to progressive causes. This information needs to get out there. And this is just what we know about. Can you imagine how much we don't know about? Do you know how much stuff a billionaire can silence? This guy has so much money, he can silence anything he wants. Stuff he doesn't want to, it's amazing that we have the information that we do on his sexual harassing and sexism. Imagine what else is out there, and we will keep digging. Help us keep digging. Become a member, statuscoup.com/join, and I promise you, I will stay on Michael Bloomberg. I will figure out what's going on behind the scenes. The truth will be reported, no matter what. Join us so I can investigate. One last thing before I end this segment. The resistance. The resistance, do you like this? Do you like that Michael Bloomberg is pictured so many times with Donald Trump? Do you like that they're friends? All over the place. Billionaires hang out with billionaires. They're friends. They have an interest in achieving the most power that they can. It's a game to them. Donald Trump versus Michael Bloomberg. I've talked about how much the media would love that, but it's a total DICK measuring contest if it's the two of them. It's not about policy. It's not about people. It's about who can amass the most power based on their money. It's absolutely disgusting. And I won't apologize for getting so upset during this segment because I think we should all be really, really upset right now. Again, please like this video so more people see it. Share it. Please become a member, statuscoup.com/join, so I can investigate the heck out of Michael Bloomberg. We are not supported by the oligarchy. We're not supported by corporations. We're supported by you, the people. So just $5 a month and you can join us. You get behind the scenes content. Maybe I'll share some more of my thoughts on this that I can't just say on a public stream. Join us. You can also, if you're already a member, support us at any amount at paypal.me/statuscoup and smash that like button so more people see this. All right. Thank you.